text you a reminder.
Okay.
Thank you.
You already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Yes, you are. And good morning, everybody. The Red Man back at you again. You know it's our time of the year. We're getting ready for Super Bowl 59 live coming to you. We're going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana, starting on Monday with the live shows that you can pick up on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll get to see the whole plethora of interviews and guests that we're going to have on our show live from Radio Row in the Ernest Morrow Convention Center in downtown New Orleans, Louisiana, starting on Monday. So check us out throughout the week and check out those fine guests that we're going to have on the show. We're getting them booked left and right. Keep an eye out for Yolanda Adams, gospel singer Yolanda Adams, Kirk Franklin, possibly on Wednesday, during some of the people that have already booked. Lee Steinberg's players, various football players will be coming on the show again as well. So keep up with the updates. We'll have them for you as we make our way toward Super Bowl 59. But let's go back to last week. Yes, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills, our team. Here we go again. As I wrote in my column this week on Challenger Community News, I'm the sports editor for Challenger Community News, been covering the Bills for over 27 years. And nothing changes with this organization. They finally on a winning streak. You have a good quarterback. You're wasting the years of your good quarterback, Josh Allen. Josh Allen finally got it going in about his fifth or sixth year with the team. These should be the glory days of the Buffalo Bills. But unfortunately, you're running into a juggernaut by the name of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. You get drastic measures need to be taken. Let's recap the game first of all. Let's go over the game. And here's my take on the Bills and why they did not win that game on Sunday. One, Joe Brady, offensive coordinator. What is up with this tush push? What's going on with that? I mean, we're not the Philadelphia Eagles, we're the Buffalo Bills. You got a quarterback that's 6'4", 240 pounds. He's not. He's like a Mack truck. He's like Derrick Henry. You don't give him the ball at the line at this to sneak. He's too big. He can't. He's not flexible enough to bend his body to get down low enough to get in between the center and the tackle and push his way into the line of scrimmage to get the first down. It's too hard for him because he's just too big. And number two, why wouldn't you practice in the last 3-4 weeks when you saw that the Rams, the Broncos, teams were catching up with you on the tush push and stopping it, basically stopping it, or you barely was making the first down? Why wouldn't you go to a variation out of that set, fake the tush push, and pitch the ball out to James Cook and let Cook run it to the outside? And because everybody's jammed up in the middle, let Cook beat the man to the pylon. Let him go to that end zone. Cook with the speed he has and the way Cook was playing, come on. Why would you try to do the same play over and over and over and over again, and you're getting the same results? You're either barely making the first down or you're not getting the first down at all. And in the crucial part of the game, why wouldn't you go with a variation of that? Or just better yet, why wouldn't you go with the Mack truck and try your best to get the first down on 4th and down by manhandling the Kansas City Chiefs like you should have done, instead of trying to do a play that everybody at home knew what the play was going to be? I knew it. Everybody, my grandchild knew it. She's 5 years old. She knew it. Everybody knew that it was a quarterback sneak, tush push, whatever you want to call it. That's just poor play calling by Joe Brady. That's lazy play calling. Where you going? Well, come on, man. This is a championship game. You're going to look on the other sideline. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. When they needed to get a first down, you never really knew what their play was. When they ended the game with 3 receivers at the top of the screen, ran them across, and then ran the running back out of the backfield, and he ran to the other side of the field. They set up a pick play, which made it impossible for Terrell Bernard to cover him. And Samaj Perrine, who used to be a thorn in our side when he was with the Cincinnati Bengals, him and Joe Mixon used to run all over our defense when he was with the Bengals. Now he's with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he put the fork in it, letting everybody know the Buffalo Bills were done. He catches the pass, picks up the first down. The game is over. You didn't know what the play was. Buffalo, you know they're too predictable. Joe Brady, you're too lazy, man. You're too lazy. You got to come up with a play at the end of the game that, how about using some plays people haven't seen before at the crucial part of games? That's what if you're playing cards or Jim Rummy or poker or whatever, why not do something differently, man? Come on, Joe Brady. This loss is on you. And of course, how could I leave out our head coach, Sean McDermott? Nice guy. I like Sean McDermott. He's on the show most of the time. We on him. I enjoy him. He's a very nice man. But come on, man. You couldn't see. You didn't know what the play. You didn't think half of America knew what that play was? Of tush push, and your quarterback 6'4", and he's not limber. He can't get down. He's like Derrick Henry. That's like putting Derrick Henry up there and try to do a quarterback sneak with Derrick Henry. They're too big of men. They can't bend down and they're not flexible enough to get underneath and get behind that center and guard, in between the center and guard, and push themselves forward. What is going on? And before I bring J-GILLZ in, let's hear what our fearless leader, Sean McDermott, and some of the players had to say after this devastating loss, another devastating loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Go ahead, BacSpin. Let's hear what they had to say.
They've been to a lot of team seasons too. And it's a good squad. They had a good plan tonight, and again, they made more plays than we did.
Well, they're a good football team. They've won 2 Super Bowls. They've been to 7 straight AFC Championship games, and that's no excuse. This is a good football team. We got to keep working it to get over that hump. There's no doubt about it.
It's all the respect in the world for them. They're extremely well coached, incredibly talented, and they know how to win games. So I think they've set the standard of excellence in this league, and you can't be the best till you beat the best, and they're the best right now.
They go to the Super Bowl pretty much every year for a reason, So just making sure that we do whatever we can to get this opportunity again, just do better.
Our guys played their hearts out. We came up a little bit short against a really good football team. We go back to trying to figure it out in terms of how we can beat this football team, and we got to look at everything.
We've been in this situation before, so just making sure that just because it happened again doesn't mean it's going to keep happening, So just making sure that we're not taking that loss and bringing it to next season, just clean slate, and go back to the drawing board and get better.
There you have it. That's Teron Johnson at the end saying the best. You've been here before. You got to go back to the drawing board. And keep in mind, we broadcasting live from the Advantage Federal Credit Union Studios here in Rochester, New York. That's where we're coming live to you from. But Teron Johnson, head coach Sean McDermott, telling them, they're a very good football team. They've been here 7 years. How many times you been here, man? Man, come on. What are you talking about them for? Talk about yourself. Why can't you get over the hump? You hear the comment from Sean McDermott. Unbelievable, man. They're a good football team. We know they're a good football team, man. How come you can't come up with, in a key situation, come up with a different play? Why would you why would you try to go for 2 points early in the game and show them a play that you haven't used in a while? And once again, I think it was the tush push as well, or you try to roll out. Why would you do that so early in the game? It's like he just doesn't know how to get it done in clutch times. J-GILLZ, welcome, Real Deal Sports Show. I see J-GILLZ is here with me, man. What the hell's going on? Did you hear the comments from these cats after the game?
Oh man, good morning, Real Deal family. Good morning, man. I gotta say, Radman, I think right now you just gotta slow down just a little bit. You gotta slow down just a little bit on Joe Brady, on that Buffalo Bills offense. That was an outstanding offense this season. We have to give credit where credit is due. Joe Brady did a heck of a job this offseason. We have to understand, Radman, you want them to go away from what they've been so successful at all season. We understand it's predictable. We understand that it was a call that everybody knew it was gonna happen. But you look at the team right now who's in the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles. They do the same thing. When they're on that 1 yard line, they got a 2,000-yard rusher and the best offensive line in football. They don't give it to Saquon Barkley. They give it to Jalen Hurts, and they do what they do. They do what got them there. And you have to understand, although the call was predictable, although the call, Josh should have gotten that first down. I can't fault Joe Brady for the call. I understand, Radman. Look at where we're at right now. Josh, I think Josh had 12 rushing touchdowns this season on that same play. The confidence was there. He's tied Thurman Thomas in all-time rushing touchdowns. in part to that play. That play was the play that needed to happen. It didn't happen, unfortunately, and they turned the ball over. So we have to call it what it is. But to go at Joe Brady like that, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. It's a lot of things that could have happened. What about Dalton Kincaid? Can we talk about the catch that he should have made on that fourth down to put him in field goal range? I mean, come on, that was worse than Mark Andrews, if you ask me. If you ask me. So
You
we
know,
got
it shouldn't have came down to that, but you're correct.
it's plenty of blame to go around, but you nailed it when you said Coach Sean McDermott. You know, to me, that's the guy to blame. I love Coach Sean McDermott as well, but he's supposed to be a defensive specialist. Him and that defense has failed them time and time again in the clutch moments. Everybody talks about Allen versus Mahomes and Allen versus Burrow. No, that's Josh Allen going against Steve Spagnuolo, and that's Patrick Mahomes going against Sean McDermott. And last time I checked, the only coach to really handle Mahomes like he needed to was Bill Belichick. And we've been calling for years that Bill Belichick should have been the coach for the Buffalo Bills. You give Bill Belichick Josh Allen, all he needs is a quarterback who can go toe-to-toe. Then you got Mahomes going up against an elite defensive mind in Belichick, and that's when the true mystery of football, that's when the true trickery and mastery of football happens. That's unfortunate that, you know, the Buffalo Bills didn't get that opportunity. They held on to Coach McDermott a little too long, and unfortunately, I think as long as they have McDermott, you won't see much success with the Buffalo Bills pertaining to Super Bowls. They'll win 10, 12, 15 games. They'll beat the bad teams, but in clutch times with great elite quarterbacks like Joe Burrow, like Patrick Mahomes, like Jaden Daniels, the Bills just won't get it done because that Buffalo Bills defense is just not as elite as it needs to be.
Right, and he's not an elite defensive head coach. Let's go back to Super Bowl 50 out in San Francisco, California. He let a one-arm Peyton Manning who had neck problems. He only had one arm working in that game. He only could throw the ball 10 to 15 yards, and you allowed a one-arm Peyton Manning to beat you as a defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. People forget about that. Sean McDermott was the defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers against the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos won that game because Von Miller, because he saw that's why he wanted Von Miller so bad, because Von Miller ate up Cam Newton and it was chasing him and the other edge rusher at the time. They chased Cam Newton all over the place, made Cam Newton drop the ball, didn't even want to go pick it up. He was so he was getting so beat down in that game, man. And that was a memorable one for Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Von Miller ended up being named MVP of that game. Sean McDermott is a good guy. He just can't get it done. The Bills need to look for a new head coach. If you don't want a Super Bowl, that's fine. But if you just want to win games, make the playoffs, make the fans make you want to shout and do all that shouting and Bills Mafia, all that crap you want to do, that's fine and dandy. But if you want to get to a Super Bowl, you ain't getting there with Sean McDermott. He just every year, his defense loses every time. Morris Thompson out in the DMV area. Everyone in the box. No play action. No option for run or pass. Morris says, and you have to stop playing zone so much and let the tight end run free into the gaps in the zone, and he's catching the ball in the zone defense in Sean McDermott's zone defense. Very astute comments by Morris Thompson. Thank you on the line here.
Absolutely. And I just want to let Bills Mafia know you're not alone in this. You're not alone in this. We looked at all throughout the whole postseason. I'm tired of these coaches getting way longer of a time than they need to. Dude, these quarterbacks, they don't get any chances at all. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, these guys get released, and then they had to continue to build. These coaches are living off of Super Bowls from years ago. I'm sorry. If you ask me, when the Buffalo Bills beat the Baltimore Ravens, that was more so on coaching as well. If you ask me, why does Harbaugh go for 2 in a game where it's still the first half, the first quarter? He's going for 2 to try and tie it up. You know, all he had to do was take an extra point. It was so much time left in the ball game. You know, you look at Mike Tomlin. You know, he hasn't won a playoff game in about 7 years. These coaches need to understand that. These organizations need to understand that you need to find elite coaching as well. It's not just about the players. It's about finding elite coaching. And you have to pair the two. Bill Belichick, again, you give him Tom Brady to go, they get 6 championships. You take your goat away, Bill Belichick had to leave. Andy Reid wasn't not nothing, but he wasn't as successful without Patrick Mahomes. You have to mirror the two. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, an elite quarterback. He does not have an elite coach. In order to make that work, he's going to have an elite coach. Same with Zach Taylor in Cincinnati. That's a wasteful season. How do you have a triple crown receiver in a 5,000-yard 40 touchdown quarterback and you don't make the playoffs? If the defense was atrocious, but it goes with coaching. These coaches need to stop getting these passes. These coaches need to get fired and get some new blood and some fresh pieces in. Look at Sean McVay. I mean, he's turned that franchise around. I mean, you got to get an innovative young coach, and really set the tone for these franchises. Some of these coaches have been living off of Super Bowls from 10 years ago. Playoffs. Yeah. McDermott ain't even been to a Super Bowl.
No.
Come on, man. There's no reason Zach Taylor should still have a job in Cincinnati right now. He had that one Super Bowl. He hasn't made the playoffs. He needs to go. You cannot waste these elite quarterbacks with average coaches. It's not going to be a mix for success. Show me where an elite quarterback took an average coach and did the things that we're seeing right now. Come on, man.
And Sean
Bill
McVay
Mafia is not alone.
No, because Sean McVay absolutely right. With him, half of his coaches are coaching around the league. Every offseason, some of his staff is getting hired somewhere else. Even Brad Holmes, the general manager, he's been the general manager of the year, voted by the Pro Football Writers Association for the past 2 years with the Detroit Lions. Turned that team around as a general manager. Got Goff in there. You got to make changes. And Sean and the Rams coach still continues to do well. Still continues to make the play. Had 2 rookie guys do great on defense. I mean, his defensive coordinator, their defense is stopping people at credible times. I mean, they didn't stop Barkley, but they stopped teams enough to get to that point. To get to that point where the Bills defense whenever they played a lot of scrub teams, unfortunately. Teams that had injuries. When they met the teams, those teams had injuries, things of that nature. It wasn't the Bills' fault. But the Bills took advantage of those teams, beat them and got turnovers. If the Bills defense don't get turnovers, they don't win the game. I mean, Taylor Rapp and Damar Hamlin need to go, man. Those 2 cats need to go. They were hiding. Every time they played, they are good teams. The Rams, the Lions, every team that was good on offense scored 40 points against your defense. 40 points. And then Kansas City always seems to get 30 points at home. They always in the 30s against your team every doggone time. And nobody's calling for McDermott's head. What is wrong with man? And
Pagula for mediocrity.
Terry Pagula, sitting on the cocktails down there in Boca Raton, Florida. And guess what? Al Sharpton put out the list of the stores to boycott. 2 professional football teams on the list. The Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints are on that list of places to boycott that's supporting the 2025 initiatives. So you see where, once again, Pagula's on the wrong side of reality with Western New York. Well, maybe not with all Western New Yorkers, but with a lot of us. Why are the Bills and the Saints on a list to boycott that's supporting 2025 initiatives? And you don't see other NFL teams. I looked at the list. I didn't see baseball or hockey. I mean, look, I'm sure a lot of those owners are supporting it, but they're probably supporting it in their own name and their own other businesses or, like craft products or things. I'm not sure if craft is I'm just using that as an example. I don't know if that's support, but they may be using it under their own name or their own business. But I didn't see craft products wasn't on the list. I mean, it's a list of a lot of, you check that list out with Al Sharpton and his network group has put out about places to boycott that's supporting 2025 listing, and you'll see the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints professional football teams hot on that list. It's an alphabetical order list too. So check it out. You can go from A to Z, up and down. There's a lot of places businesses on it. It's just they're not the only ones. It's a hell of a lot of businesses on that list. But he's somewhere sipping cocktails, doing other stuff. He ain't giving a damn about the Bills. But if he cared about winning, I'd go down there to North Carolina, buy out Bill Belichick's contract with the University of North Carolina, get a private jet and fly him up to Buffalo, say, hire who you want. You take this thing over, man. I'll give you 3 years to get this thing right. He'll get it right in 1 year because I know.
1 year.
1 year because you got the offense, you got the running game, you got the offense. I mean, this offensive line has been intact for 2 full seasons. That's almost unheard of that an offensive line can be intact for 2 full seasons and don't get to a Super Bowl. And now the Bills go in history. The first NFL team to make the playoffs 5 years in a row and not make a Super Bowl. That has never happened before. You make it 5 years in a row and not make a Super Bowl. So,
that's the stat. That's the stat. My God, devastating stat.
Yeah, you still got to find a way to do something with that defense, because the defense is the problem. The offense seems to be all right, but you get Bill Belichick in here, bring his crew in here, I guarantee you he'll win those. He needs 16 games to pass Don Shula as the winningest coach ever in the National Football League. That's enticing to him as well. But you give him Josh Allen, you give him what the Bills, you give half the coaches in the National Football League what we have, and the Bills, they could take this team over the hump. There's several coaches out there that could get it done. But this defensive-minded head coach doesn't mind defense in critical situations and don't want to change. Kareem Jackson, I thought, should have played. Veteran Kareem Jackson, safety, he should have replaced Damar Hamlin. All Damar Hamlin does is wait back, and if the quarterback doesn't overthrow the ball, he's there for the interception, which is great. But he ain't there to not jar the ball loose. He ain't there to make – man, Patrick Mahomes ran all over him, just going 5 yards. Him and Patrick Mahomes at the 4-yard line. Patrick Mahomes standing up in the end zone. I mean, man, just ran right through it. He just arm tackle you. He's not a hitter. Taylor Rapp just hurls his body in there like a crash dummy. He's always broke up and everything, man. He just hurls his body. So you need some safeties, some real safeties on this defense, and you need some bigger linebackers, and you need a bigger guys on the defensive front. Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones doing their thing, but you need Jordan Phillips, but you need some other big guys on that. They're too small. They're too small. J-GILLZ, your comments?
No, you're absolutely right. You know, the personnel to me was always was an issue. You know, they've had elite talent in the past. You know, they had truly elite talent. They had a secondary that involved Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, and Micah
Hyde.
Yeah, Micah Hyde. Come on, that was elite talent. You talking about, and it's only diminished and it's not been replaced. Christian Benford, I love him. He's a 4th-round pick, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? Damar Hamlin, he's a 2nd-round pick. Come on, man. You've seen what happened on that field before. It's just they need to replace it. Rasul Douglas, Taylor Rapp. These guys aren't elite pieces, and Brandon Beane has done not a good job on that side of the ball.
Exactly, he has not done a good job, and he hasn't done a good job with the top draft picks. The top draft picks, he has not done a good job with the top draft picks at all. Think about it. What are we getting from some of these guys? Dalton Kincaid, the most recent one. The top 2 draft picks have been real dicey with the Bills. The top 3 are really coming in and contributing and helping out. So they got to go to the drawing board and figure out what they're going to do on that side of the ball and what they're going to do with keeping their coaches. And because it's just ridiculous. In 5 years in, this guy, he's been with the team 7 years. Head coach Sean McDermott, 5 years in a row. Great job. Best coach in Bills history, definitely, with what he's doing. But he's just not a championship coach. He's not going to beat Andy Reid. As long as Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are in front of him, he'd rather give them the draft pick. I mean, hell, we gave him Patrick Mahomes. We gave him Worthy. I mean, come on, man. What? If you're going to give your Kansas City their best way, you could have had Patrick Mahomes. Instead, you traded with Kansas City. Kansas City took 10 seconds to draft him. Usually it's 30 seconds or a minute. They jumped right in and grabbed Patrick Mahomes because they knew y'all was sleeping at the wheel. They grabbed him. The Bills went down and drafted at 18 Tre'Davious White. So, man, that just lets you know, man, come on, McDermott. Y'all have working for them too? I mean, what? Are you a Bill and a Chief? Andy Reid fan? Lifelong Andy Reid member or what? Fanatic, I see you joining it. What's going on, Fanatic?
What's happening? What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, Real Deal Sports family? Perfect time to jump in. Hey, hold on. Don't be disrespecting my man LSU's own Trey White, man. That dude was a baller. Hey, he was that guy, and injuries just have robbed him, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's shame because really he about to be out the league. But he was a tremendous talent coming out. But you're right. Xavier Worthy, the Bills, anytime they see Kansas City call it, we all got the caller ID on our phone. Do not take that call, Buffalo. I don't care what they say. Do not take that call from Kansas City when they call to make a trade, man. But, hey, sometimes it's like that. There's dynasties out there. Is Charles Barkley, not a great player. He's a great player, but he had to go up against Jordan, and he tried to Jordan get sometimes there's a Jordan in every sport.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. And to me, Josh Allen seems a little cursed. He definitely was all jittery, looking like wide-eyed Josh Allen in the first drive. I think the second drive as well. To me, I'm hoping, and we shall see. I would love to get y'all thoughts. Joe Brady, we'd love to see him coming on back to LSU territory with the Saints. I wish he would have ran Cook more to rock. What do y'all think? What's up? Two things: Joe Brady, anything with him, and potentially leaving. And then the second piece is, why do you think James Cook doesn't get the full, especially in the playoff game? I get it, week one with a long season. Why doesn't James Cook get 90, 95% of the touches at running back, even though I know they got two good backup running backs? What's the deal with that?
They said after the game that was their playing their system, but they were playing their system that you play in the regular season. That's what I'm saying. Joe Brady and Sean McDermott need to get his head examined. Yo, man, if you're watching the game from the sideline, you can't see that James Cook is getting off. He's your best offensive player, just like Mac Hollins was one of your best. You didn't throw the ball to Mac Hollins again. What? Man, come on, man. Mac Hollins killing it. He was beating his guys in the game. Why wouldn't you hand – if Buffalo would have gave the ball to James Cook 20 to 25 times in that game, they could have had a very – and like I said, instead of fake that quarterback push or the quarterback sneak, and pitch the ball out to Cook and let Cook beat the man to the pylon. Let him beat him for it was only a yard and a half. Let him pick up those first downs because Cook was looking great out there, man. It's a shame that the only thing that slowed Cook down was Sean McDermott and Joe Brady. And where's Sean McDermott? When you tell Joe Brady, no, man, I don't like that tush push. Get the ball to Cook, man. Get the ball to Cook. Let's put you. Or how about a draw play? How about a screen? Where's the draw play? You could have ran a draw play the first play of the game because they came out, man, especially when Spagnuolo started blitzing, man, to run the draw play. Instead, you running Josh Allen back there. He's running for his life trying to get rid of the ball. It's the same old with these guys. I know they lose their composure and don't use the entire playbook. They could have draw plays would have worked, or screen passes could have worked in that game against the Chiefs.
Got it. So J-GILLZ. So I'm going. Let's take a leap. Do you think Joe Brady should be looking at the Saints job as a head coach? He's just trying to get his agent to call in there, or should the Bills? Are y'all trying to say Joe Brady he should be fired up there in Buffalo? What y'all saying?
No, he turned it down. He turned it down. He turned them down a week ago.
Yeah, I did hear that Kellen Moore was in the front running for that one. But even still, I don't think that Joe Brady needs to leave right now at this moment. This is his first full season. I think that this was the most highest scoring offense in Buffalo Bills history. They didn't have a true number one receiver. They had an elite running game and a rushing attack. And I think that Joe Brady's just continuing to make a name for himself. We saw what he was able to do in LSU with all those weapons. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. He had the whole crew. Justin Jefferson,
Marshall,
Claire Hilaire,
Thaddeus Moss.
This one of the best rosters that we've seen, So I think that you have to allow him to just continue to, build his offensive repertoire, get more pieces on that Buffalo Bills offense, and then, continue to build and dominate. But as we was talking about a little bit earlier, wait until Zach Taylor get fired. If you're gonna go, wait until you get a head coach and an elite quarterback. You don't want to go to New Orleans right now with Derek Carr. Now you wait until Zach Taylor get fired, and then you go and team up with your old crew, and now you're talking. You're talking because he's an elite offensive mind. He's proven this to be that. I hear what you're saying, right, man, about that decision making, but that's more so on the players on the field and that personnel. He could have drew up a better play, but you have to stay consistent to who you are. We've seen it with Philly. I understand you saying postseason you got to be a little more creative. Everybody's not Ben Johnson in those plays. Phenomenal Blake calling with Ben Johnson. But you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. They're consistent to their game, and they're going to do their tush push and get that 1 yard. Josh Allen had 12 rushing touchdowns. At least 10 of those things was on the 1 yard line. That's the most comfortable play that they had, the most comfortable play the offensive line could run. They just were not able to get it done, unfortunately. But Joe Brady, continue to stay because you don't want to be like Ryan Daboll. You're in New York. You're in an abyss. You know what I mean? You're a good play caller, but you don't have anything around you. Wait till one of these good head coaching jobs come up, like a Cincinnati Bengals, and make that happen. Just wait another year, Joe. Just wait another year.
Right, but 3 to Go Music chimed in. Run the ball, guys. Run the ball. Thank you, 3 to Go Music. Thank you for that comment. But the point I'm making is Sean McDermott is the head coach. He's the one to tell Joe Brady, no, man, we're not going to do that push. Let's do a screenplay. Let's do a draw. Hold on.
Hold on.
At least say, hey, man, They said because the last 4 teams have stopped that play because they said the Bills give it away, that they run into the left side of the line, and he can't get down low enough. He's 6'4", 240 pounds, Josh Allen. He can't get down low enough to get behind. So they figured out how to stop him. It's been stopped the last 4 football games.
But hey, hold on. All right, where has it been stopped? They demolished Denver. Josh Allen. I love how Joe Brady.
No, I'm talking about the tush push. I'm talking about just that play.
No, I get you. The 1 yard. When did they get stopped? They haven't been stopped. I feel like we go a Monday morning quarterback. Does the Rab have anything nice to say? It got stopped versus Kansas City. You gonna see Philly?
They got stopped against the Ravens too. The Bills had to kick field goals against the Ravens. He almost turned the ball over because he tried to pitch it out when the Ravens jacked him up. The one guy, number 95, had him like a polar bear, had him wrapped up, and he was good to try to pitch it, but he held on to it. The Bills ended up kicking a couple field goals. The Rams out in LA, the Rams stopped him at the goal line, trying to do that in the 2-point conversion. Whenever the Bills played against high quality, deep, good teams, that play has been stopped. But against the scrub teams, they run it in against the scrubs, which they avoid. Is who you play. But when you played against good quality teams, that play was stopped.
So then, is the Bills' offensive line not as good as we talked about last week? We talk about how great they were. It's
not about the line. They're telegraphing where they're going. The team said it even after the game. Spagnuolo, everybody seems to know. Even the TV announcer said they run it to the left because you could see it. You could see they're just telegraphing. You look at film, everybody see which way Josh is going, and they slide the defense over and they put extra people over there, and that's why the Rams stopped it. That's why the Ravens stopped it. That's why the Chiefs stopped it. It's been stopped several times by good teams. I think the Jets even stopped it earlier in the season.
Well, the Jets ain't a good team.
I'm just saying, good defensive teams stopped, but it has been stopped.
So Rap, you talking about the actual action? I'm talking. You making it sound like the play should be thrown out.
I said you don't use it in critical situations. I ain't say nothing about throwing the play. I said they use it in critical situations way too much. And when Kansas City stopped it the first time, you should have went to a different play and practice during the week, a variation off that play where he fakes the sneak, pitches it to Cook, and let Cook beat the edge rusher in the corner to the pylon, to the outside, and pick up the 1 or 2 yards that way, rather than trying to jam everybody up the middle when everybody see that Josh Allen is going to the left side of the offensive line.
I love that. Potentially, I would love to see. So basically, what
creativity.
I got you. I got you. I hear you on that, but a little cool. But what I'm saying is, so then are you then now prognosticating to say Philly should not run the tush push when we all know they're gonna run it in the same variation that they run it because they're playing a great Kansas City team? Is that what you're telling us?
No, you're not listening to the show, man. I said it earlier. You missed the first 10 minutes of the show. I said the reason why Philadelphia is successful is because they have a small quarterback. He can get down. He's flexible. He can get down low, and he gets behind the center and the guard, and he's behind them hidden, and they can't even put their hands on him until he's already in the forward motion. Josh Allen can't get down. He's not flexible. He's not limber. He can't. When he hikes the ball, look at it. He's up high. So guys diving over the top, grabbing him by his shoulder pads and holding him by his pads, and guys got him by his legs. He's just not. That play is not right because the quarterback is just too big. Josh Allen is just too big for that play. Jalen Hurts and those diminutive, smaller quarterbacks, that's a perfect play for Jalen Hurts because look how low. When you watch the highlights, he's right behind the guy's butt. And you can't, and the guys don't even touch him until he's almost in the end zone. By the time they get their hands on him, he's in the end zone. Where Josh Allen kind of stands up. He stands up on that play, and that it's just execute. And they run it in practice. The Bills should have known in practice that, hey man, he stands too high. Man, we need to let's do a variation off of it. And that it's all about create. That's why I'm lacking with Joe Brady. Good season, great season offensively, but in critical situations, you got to do a variation off of some of those plays because everybody, the TV announcer, I watched the replay of the game this week. The announcer even said what it was going to be. Romo and Jim Nance, they called it both times. Oh yeah, they're going with that push to the, and they even said Romo said to the left side of the line because they you can see it in film. That's where he's going, and if they know it, all the other teams know it, and that's why it's been being stopped by the stronger defensive units.
I'll go with my last one on this. I see my man Thomas Patrick Edward Brady Jr., who's 6'4". He made it happen as well too. Multiple times with that sneak. But I hear what you're saying though.
But it's funny. The game seemed just like the week before. The Bills did the same thing the Ravens did. Didn't run the ball more, so it kind of seemed like it was a similar type of way of losing the game. But hey, we're gonna go to our next guest coming in. We're gonna get into basketball now. But enough of the Bills debacle and all of that, and we're gonna talk more about the Eagles and them next week. And we're gonna have our guest coming in, Chris Gardner. Chris Gardner, Houston Round Ball Review. Welcome back to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, brothers. How y'all doing?
Good. Just digging out a little snow here, back in the snowy season here. I know you don't know.
It snowed here. It snowed here. It freaked us out a few days ago. You know?
Oh, well, good. Well, you're getting a taste of real winter, that is. But we're glad to have you back on the show. And at first, I wanted to ask you about the women's basketball with before we get into the Unrivaled versus what's your take on that new league, women's professional basketball league?
It's raising the bar for the WNBA owners who have not invested in their own teams. The setup in Miami for Unrivaled, it's 3-on-3 league. The pay is great for the players to keep them from having to go overseas to earn money. But from what I've read and heard, and heck, I'm on the media list, the game notes, the updates that the league, the PR people send out is outstanding. It's top notch. It's better than some pro teams on men's side that I cover. But the amenities that have been set up, they got, makeup room for the players. They treat the ladies like professionals.
Okay.
So it's something, like I said, there are a few WNBA owners who do not invest in their teams and in their players. And a great example of it, she's no longer, officially today, this is the start of WNBA free agency, signing period, making trades. Everything will be announced starting today. Alyssa Thomas, Connecticut Sun legend, all WNBA, all league, all those things. Connecticut Sun, owned by a Mohegan Sun tribe, but they don't invest in their players. Alyssa Thomas stated that they, this is one of the top teams in the WNBA for years.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
They were kicked out of practice or moved from practice because of a child's birthday party.
Wow.
Because they don't have their own facility for practice, so they have to share with with the public.
Wow.
So that's one reason why AT was like, yeah, this is my last year here. So she's going to be announced as traded to Phoenix Mercury because Phoenix is one of those teams that does invest in their players and in the women's team with their own facility. So it's starting to be an arms race, and Unrivaled is helping with that. Plus, on the men's side, it's similar. Women are now doing it, being in Miami together with your fellow WNBA players. Some of them are free agents. You start talking to them. You tell Satu Sabali, hey, we got this over here. Y'all don't have this over there in Dallas. We got this. We got this nice sauna, this nice physical therapy for the cool tub, all kind of stuff. Oh, really? You do? So it's recruiting. So recruiting happens as well. So it's all part of raising that bar for women's basketball, and I'm happy to see it.
And we got to talk too, Chris and Radman, the equity that these women are getting in the league.
Yes.
They're getting 15% of sales revenue. Never in my years have I ever saw a WNBA game before or after an NBA game. They're playing on TNT. They're playing on Max. This is the time where we watching the fellas play, and now we get to watch 3-on-3 with the women, and it's just a great thing to see. Highlighting the women. They're getting this money. I think the average salary is $200,000. A lot of these players in the Unrivaled, they're fresh off their rookie seasons. Angel Reese, Rakia Jackson, Cameron Brink, who hasn't played yet, but this is a different level of coming into the WNBA that women before have never seen before. So when you talk about women, girls in high school and college who want to continue to play the game of basketball, they've definitely got a lot more to look up to financially, market-wise, brand-wise. So, man, this was a phenomenal idea from the women like Brown and Stewart and company. And shout out to the guys like Tom Brady and LeBron James for putting their money on the line and investing in this league.
It's great to see. And I think I've said it previous times here being on with you guys. The popularity explosion in women's basketball is sensational. I'm waiting for it to come to Houston, the city of Houston, because when the Comets disbanded in 2008, women's basketball here in Houston has just fallen off a cliff. You know, college basketball is oh my gosh, it's my alma mater. Women's basketball is just so sad. And for folks who are new to me as a guest on this show, if you follow men's college basketball, I'm gonna give you this tidbit. Kelvin Sampson has been at Houston 11 years. Ronald Huey, head coach of women's basketball at Houston, has been at Houston 11 years. Same 11 years. Which one has had success?
We already know.
We already know. Kelvin Sampson. Kelvin, definitely.
Coach Huey has 0 trips to the tournament. So if you are serious as an administration about women's athletics, 11 years, people.
Wow.
What's it going to take? 11 years. No trip to the tournament.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not personal. This is business, right? If you are serious about women's athletics,
Absolutely.
prove it.
yeah.
And it took me a little while to get here because of my love and infatuation with the Lady Tiger herself, Angel Reese. But we got to give huge credit to Caitlin Clark. I thought it was more so 50-50 on the growth of the sport, but no, it's like 80-20. And that 20% is everybody else. We got to give Caitlin Clark her just due for what we're seeing in women's basketball.
Now, why is that? Why is that,
J-GILLZ? How'd you get to that?
I just honestly, when I see the skyrocket, I see when Caitlin Clark came into the league, just you see the numbers, you see the numbers of who was attending the games, you see the numbers of who was watching the games, and I really feel like that really drew a huge eye on the sport. Angel Reese is, granted, you know what I mean, she did her thing too, but I think Caitlin, I mean, when you got Nike giving you millions of dollars, that nobody else was getting that. You know, it took Aja Wilson a little while before coming into the gate. And I think that Juju can surpass that. I really do.
Let's be real though, fellas. Let's be real. Let's tell it like it is. Caitlin Clark is a hell of a talent. No questions. But Caitlin Clark does not look like you or me. And that's also part of this infatuation with her skill set. She's a hell of a talent. You know, I saw her freshman year at Iowa when she should have been the freshman of the year, not Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers is a hell of a talent. But Midwestern farm girl kind of player, Caitlin Clark, you know, she's the good old American home girl and all that kind of stuff. So that fan base latched on to her skill set. Oh, we got somebody we can support, we can cheer for. So that's part of the boom in popularity too, because look at the shots and everything when Cheryl Swoops was critical of Caitlin Clark. Anything Cheryl Swoops said, oh, well, you know, Swoops don't know anything about basketball. Have you seen Cheryl Swoops? Did you ever see Cheryl Swoops play? You know what I'm saying? That kind of nonsense, you know, spewed out there. So those people who claim to say, well, I don't see color, it's not a race thing. Okay. Yeah, y'all keep living in that fantasy land, and I'm going to deal in the real world.
And that's a fact, Chris. Basically, that's where I was going with the absolutely. Now, for me, I was at the Barclays Center when Angel Reese went against the New York Liberty, and it was the highest crowd, so I get that too. She got the marketability, as Fanatic said a couple months ago during the draft. She's been everywhere. She got the Midwest. She from the DMV. You know, she played in the East Coast. She got it all. So she has a huge market. But looking at reality, when you got Caitlin Clark, and you see her fan base. You see her fan base, and that's just what it is. I had to come to that conclusion. I'm sorry, when women start making $200,000 in the league and these TV deals, we gotta give the lady some credit. We gotta give her some credit.
Wait, hey Chris, can I ask you a question just off of that? Why do you think Paige Beck is Paige out of UConn? I call her Paige Buckets, man. But if we're gonna talk about the race piece of it, why do you think, is it like UConn fatigue? Why hasn't she really galvanized America in that sort of way? Is it because she was hurt with the ACL? Is it because maybe it is the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird? We had a Angel Reese, quote unquote, the villain, going against good old girl from the Midwest. Oh, sweet Kate. Look like, why do you think somebody like a Paige Paige Becker's stepmom is a sister.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's why we come to Chris Gardner. Who knew that?
For this.
What?
Because
Chris
you know,
came
and
with receipts.
Paige she gave a speech at the ESPY Awards a few years ago, and she gave flowers to the African American women in the WNBA, people she looked up to, and she lost a lot of that fan base right there. Oh, you know, for those folks to say, oh, Paige she has the woke mentality. She lost folks from that point on. You know, Paige doing fine marketing wise, but there's still that section of America, or as I say, America, that won't claim her because Paige gave flowers to sisters.
Yeah,
and they can't handle that. She'll be fine. She'll be, if she decides to, you know, come out and go to WNBA, be the first pick in the draft. And she doesn't want to go to Dallas Wings. You know, she has leverage to do that. You know, decide where she wants to go. But that's part of it. And also, there's still a small part of society, maybe not small. There are some people who question Paige's sexuality.
Yeah.
You know, her friendship with, you know, women or whatever. I don't care. Can you hoop? Yeah. All right, let's go. Can you win? Yeah. Can you? And she's got talent, but there people will always try to find something wrong with you in their mind, and they will cling to that regardless of it's worth anything at, you know, at all. But that's two reasons why she's not. That's why I always joke. If Caitlin Clark started dating a brother, some of her fan base would lose their damn minds. Oh my God! What? Oh my! Whoa! No, we can't have that. Not our Caitlin Clark. Oh no! Not Miss America. Oh no!
Real deal sports show. Give it to really.
You're right.
She would lose some credibility, huh? Hey, Julo, that commercial time. Before we gotta get that quick commercial in for award-winning.
No, the award-winning Marion Rivera. Come on, we know about Marion Rivera. She's been holding us down since the beginning of the show. She got your home health life insurance. Go check her out live and in person, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. If you don't feel like pulling up on her, go check her out and by giving her a phone call. 585-360-0094. Again, 585-360-0094. The award-winning Marion Rivera Insurance Agency. Give her a call, and we know we got to hold it down. Man, the Challenger Community News, got to get that newspaper. It's in your community, especially in the Western New York area. I know we got folks all over the country listening, but in the Western New York community, convenience stores, grocery stores, fish markets, you can go check out the Challenger Community News, the Western New York's largest African-American weekly newspaper, thechallengernews.com to check it out. If you have any cool story that you want to get out there to the community, give a call to 585-766-3590.
Yeah, and check out Doubling Down on Equality, Equity in New York's Cannabis Industry by our own brother Rashad Smith from Everyday People PR. Check out that article, as well as many other fine articles in the health and fitness articles. Stay healthy, eating right during this winter season. So check that out, all in Challenger Community News. What's college, but the men's Houston always seem to be right up there. You mentioned Kelvin Sampson. His team once again is getting themselves ready for the tournament. How's that coming along?
Two things real quick. Shout out to y'all with the live from the Advantage Federal Credit Union Studios. That's outstanding right there. I love to see that. I'm trying to get that for my shows. Get that money like that. Kudos to y'all. Props. But Coach Sampson, the Cougars started the season slow, working in a new point guard. Milos Uzan transferred from Oklahoma. You know, Jamal Shedd was All-American for Houston, went on to the pros. So new point guard will take a while to get the offense, learn a system, teammates trusted him, all those kind of things. But unlike some coaches who don't challenge themselves non-conference, Coach Sampson faced Auburn, Alabama, tough team non-conference, and they lost those games early in November. They lost 3 games in November. The national media forgot about them. Okay, forgot about the Cougs. Oh, they're not as good as we thought they were, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to now, February 1st, they're in first place in the Big 12, won 13 in a row, 9-0 in the Big 12, have won 18 straight regular season games in the Big 12, the second longest streak in the Big 12, the history of the Big 12. So, I mean, Coach Sampson has always stated it's his time at Houston. His job and goal is to get the team better month to month, November to December, December, January, etc., and have the team play the best ball and be healthy come March. And they're on track to do that.
Great. And we got to get you back next week. Definitely look forward to having you back on the show in the coming weeks to talk about the women's game because USC, there's so many good teams out there.
Yes.
We didn't even get
Juju Watkins, yes.
Juju, watch Notre Dame, South Carolina Gamecocks. Don't forget about
UCLA. Yep.
Yeah, UCLA rolling. Hey, don't forget about our Lady Tigers down here. I know
they're playing well. Anissa Morrow looks like Scissor.
Yeah.
Miss Double Queen.
Yeah.
But going back to it real quick, and I know my time is wrapping up here. Juju Watkins has a chance to almost probably pass Caitlin Clark in scoring numbers if she continues to put up buckets like she did for 4 years. But where's the love for her? Where's the love from that part of America? I wonder why she's not getting that shine.
Yeah, she's West Coast.
Yeah, well, and I thought a lot of it was time difference stuff. But USC been on the East Coast almost as much as they've been on out there in LA.
They're not part of the Big Ten. That's hard to say.
Come on,
part of the Big Ten now. But yeah, where's the love for her from certain parts of America?
Oh, Chris.
Thank you, Chris Gardner. HoustonRoundBallReview.com. Check them out, and on Twitter at the HHR Review. We'll see you back in about 2 weeks, Chris. We'll get into the women's college basketball even more after the Super Bowl week. So we'll see you in about 2 weeks.
My pleasure, fellas. Y'all take care.
Take care.
Thank you, Chris.
And as we wrap, we hear the music, J-GILLZ and the Fanatic. You know what time that is.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. Hey, but man, let me just say, where else do you hear folks like that, like Chris Gardner, letting folks know what's happening? Please make sure y'all listening. Pull over. Hey, pause the show. Like, subscribe to us, man, on YouTube. Check it out, man. A lot of time and effort. I know Radman and J-GILLZ about to descend, get their flight and descend on down here to New Orleans, man. Y'all putting a lot of work, man. Let's make sure folks that out in the community, folks listening, give some love. Subscribe to the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Costs you nothing but means everything to us, man. What a great Chris Gardner. What a realist of the real. I didn't know that about Paige Beckers, man.
See there, that's why he's the insider, and he has a ticket. He automatically has his ticket for the Final Four. He's a journalist. Like we cover the Super Bowl, he covers the Final Four in women's college basketball each year now. He's a regular at the Final Four. So that's why Chris Gardner is on Real Deal Sports Show, because he knows what he's talking about when it comes to men and women's college basketball.
Yes, he does.
Yep. And BacSpin, I see it's time for him to come in. Hey, what's up with the two Rochester dudes trying to fight in the NBA? Don't they know they're getting paid? Somebody tell Isaiah Stewart, man. He getting paid. This ain't, man,
Isaiah is one of them players who plays with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he's got that Rock City mentality. And he want to smoke with any and everybody, man. I don't think they need to leave Isaiah alone. That's what I mean.
He even wanted it with LeBron James back a few years ago.
Exactly. Like, hey, man, Rochester, I mean, you know how Rochesterians are, man. We highly competitive, you know what I mean? And I just think that's just what's going on here, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully he can calm down and, like you said, leave him alone. Because man, don't lose your money, man.
Don't lose your money.
Word. Well, not, and especially he can't be doing it to another Rochester legend like Thomas Bryant, man. Hey, find somebody else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, Thomas is a Rochesterian. Isaiah's a Rochesterian. Both are doing big things, and what Hope say? There's no no wins when a family feud. No one wins when a family feud. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I feel like, you know, like you said, right, man, don't let it mess up your money, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're looking forward to seeing y'all boys at the Super Bowl next week on Radio Row, bringing them interviews, man. We definitely going to be tuned in for that. So y'all hold it down while y'all in New Orleans, man.
And you know you got to get BacSpin the Dallas Cowboys gear.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't got to give me none of that. I told you, I'm boycotting. It's a boycott. I'm boycotting them boys. Yeah, I'm not buying no more gear. Not to say that I won't wear the gear that I bought already, but I'm not buying no more Cowboy gear. I'm not doing nothing.
You don't want the Schottenheimer jersey?
Nope. Trash. You know what I'm saying? And I'm mad that the Bills lost because I was rooting for them. You know, I bought a Buffalo Bills hat and everything. And I can't even rock it.
That's why they lost. Come on, BacSpin.
I didn't wear it. I said I wasn't gonna wear it until they get to the Super Bowl. So I guess it'll be up in my closet. You know what I mean? Ready for when they do get that chip, or even just go to the chip. That's when I'll rock it.
Absolutely, because I seen crossing guards and everybody with the gear on before Sunday. Now that's the gear that disappeared, man. It comes scarce by Monday morning.
Everybody wearing all black now. Everybody wearing all black.
I appreciate you boys, man. Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the Beat 105.5. Y'all have a great weekend, fellas.
You too. Take care.
Great y'all.
Keep doing it up, BacSpin. Safe travels.
Catch us all week long. Real Deal Sports Show on YouTube. Check us out all week long. Subscribe. Please subscribe and like the show.
The Beat 105.5. Keep it right where you need it. The Back in Time Mix Show is on the way. Rock City, rock with me. It's the Beat.